Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So, we are going to today talk about the assumptions about preferences. Assumptions about preferences. ठीक है बेटा? This is one of the very important topic from the point of view of any exam. किसी भी एग्जाम में assumptions about preference ये बहुत ही important topic है, right? Now, first of all, whenever we talk about the assumption about preferences, we need to understand that we are talking about a rational consumer. We are talking about a rational consumer. And who is a rational consumer? Any consumer who is basically thinking about himself. कोई भी ऐसा कंज्यूमर जो अपने यूटिलिटी को मैक्सिमाइज करना चाहता है, जो अपने यूटिलिटी के बारे में सोच रहा है, will be called as a rational human being. What will we call them? We will call him as a rational human being. Is this clear? So who is a rational consumer? Any consumer who maximizes his satisfaction. जिसको अपनी satisfaction से मतलब है, that can be called as a rational human being. अच्छा, now against a rational human being we have someone. तो rational तो एक तरीके से हम बोल सकते हैं कि rational human being वो हो गया who is a selfish human being, है ना? But इसी के against a rational human being we can also have a person who can think about the preference of another individual. जैसे for example our mothers, right? What do our mothers do, beta? Our mothers basically they can derive utility or satisfaction from the consumption of their children, है ना? तो जैसे when their children will consume food, when their children will eat lunch, they will be more happy. So that is not a rational person. A rational human being is any human being who only thinks about his own satisfaction. जो भी selfish होता है, जो सिर्फ अपना satisfaction, अपना utility के बारे में सोचे, that person will be called as a rational human being. Clear हुई? So whenever we do any assumption about preferences, we assume that we are talking about these rational human individuals. ठीक है? तो इनको बोलते हैं assumptions of rationality. माने we are assuming that the individual is a rational human being. He cares only about his own utility. So please write down any individual who cares about his own satisfaction or utility. Any individual who cares about his own satisfaction, about his own utility, will be called as a rational human being. अब इसी में we have many assumptions about rationality. And these are also called as axioms of rationality. क्या बोल देते हैं इनको बेटा हम? These are also called as axioms of rationality. Right? The first axiom of rationality that we have is called as completeness. What is completeness? Completeness means given two bundles, you should be able to compare the bundles, right? So you should not say I don't know. आपको ये नहीं बोलना मुझे नहीं पता. You should be able to compare the two bundles, right? So for example, if I tell you this is a Adgel pen and this is a Renault pen, another pen I have Renault pen. Do you prefer Adgel or Renault? Yeah. So you should be able to tell me I prefer Adgel, ma'am. I prefer Renault. है ना? So what does completeness mean? Given any two bundle, you should be able to compare. Okay, so please write down. Given any two bundles, an individual should be able to compare them, right? So if I tell you that there is a bundle X, which is X1, X2, and a bundle Y, which is Y1, Y2, then individual should be able to tell. What this individual should be able to tell? Whether he prefers X over Y, or he prefers Y over X, or he is indifferent between X and Y. He should be able to tell. वो ये ना बोले I don't know. He should be able to tell whether he prefers X over Y, Y over X, or he is indifferent between X and Y. Right? So this is what is the meaning of completeness. Okay. When will completeness be difficult? It will be not possible under extreme situations, like the situation of life and death. एक बात बताओ, if I tell you, would you like to die from a gunshot, or would you like to die from maybe a flood? So you will not be able to tell me, na? You don't know the pain in the two things, right? You will say, I don't know. I don't want to die only. Okay? Leave dying from gunshot or from flood. Hai. So such situations where an individual is not able to compare what he wants to do, right? Yes, correct. Emotional situations, right? So emotional situations where you cannot compare, right? They don't follow completeness. वहां पे completeness lack करता है ना? So comparing between mother and father. Do you love your mother more or father more? Difficult to tell, right? So that's the first part, which is completeness. The second is called reflexive. What is reflexive saying? Reflexive says any bundle is as good as itself. Any bundle is certainly as good as its identical bundle. Mane, if I give you one blue ink Adgel pen and I give you another same blue ink Adgel pen, so these two are very similar in nature. So one is definitely as good as the other one. The first bundle is certainly as good as the second bundle, right? So this is called reflexiveness. इसको हम कैसे show करते हैं? How do we show reflexiveness? We show reflexiveness like this, that if this is bundle X, then bundle X is as good as its own bundle. The sign of as good as is weak preference. Remember we did this weak preference, beta? Weak preference. Weak preference translates to as good as. So when we say that a bundle is as good as itself, माने कि इस बंडल से जो हमें यूटिलिटी मिलेगा, सेटिस्फैक्शन मिलेगा, वो दूसरे बंडल के बराबर तो मिलेगा ही मिलेगा जो सेम ही बंडल है. दिस इज व्हाट इट मीन्स. एनी बंडल इज एज गुड एज itself. नाउ व्हेन इज दिस वायलेटेड? कब ऐसा होगा कि ये वायलेट हो जाए? It will be violated in case of small children. So if there is a child, and I show him one blue lace pack, and I show him another same blue lace pack, right? He may prefer one over the other. He may violate this assumption. है ना? वो बोलेगा नहीं नहीं नहीं, ये वाला बेटर लग रहा है इसके ऊपर. Both are blue lace, 10 rupees pack, everything is the same, but children may violate this assumption, right? They may prefer one over other even when both of them are same. है ना? तो तब वो ये violate हो जाता है. Okay, now let's talk about the third assumption. So the third assumption we have is called as transitivity. The third assumption is called as transitivity. ध्यान से समझना. Transitivity says that if you prefer bundle X over Y and you prefer bundle Y over Z, then you must prefer bundle X over Z. Similarly, if you are indifferent between X and Y and you are indifferent between Y and Z, then you should be indifferent between X and Z. If you weakly prefer X over Y and weakly prefer Y over Z, then you should weakly prefer X over Z. एक एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक बंडल X है एंड उससे जो हमें सेटिस्फैक्शन या यूटिलिटी मिल रहा है, आई एम गेटिंग अ यूटिलिटी ऑफ 10 फ्रॉम बंडल X. देयर इज अनदर बंडल Y और इसमें मुझे जो सेटिस्फैक्शन या यूटिलिटी मिल रहा है दैट्स 8. देयर इज अनदर बंडल Z एंड उसमें जो मुझे यूटिलिटी या सेटिस्फैक्शन मिलेगा दैट इज 6. The utility from bundle X is more than utility from Y. So I prefer X over Y. देखो 10 is more than 8. The utility from Y is more than utility from Z. देखो 8 is more than 6. So I should prefer Y over Z. So transitivity tells me that when X is preferred over Y, Y is preferred over Z, then X should also be preferred over Z. और वो हो भी रहा है. Utility from X is more than utility from Z. Satisfaction from X is more than satisfaction from Z. Utility is just satisfaction. है ना? So satisfaction from X is more than satisfaction from Z. So we can say that therefore this is transitive. Transitivity is followed. Right? This is when we go ahead and we say that transitivity is followed. Okay, now what we can go ahead and we can ask is, when is transitivity violated, right? So when is it violated? So transitivity is violated whenever you have cyclical preferences. Right? Now, what are cyclical preferences? Let me give you an example of cyclical preferences. So, for example, I ask a person, do you like pizza or pasta? And he tells me, I love pizza. Then I ask a person, I'm giving you pasta and I'm giving you sandwich. And he tells me, I love sandwich. So transitivity tells me that if pizza is preferred over pasta, is preferred over sandwich, then pizza should be preferred over sandwich, right? Now, I give this person pizza and sandwich, but he chooses sandwich. So when you go ahead and sorry, here I have pasta. So when he chooses sandwich here, there is a cycle that has been created, that among pizza and pizza was chosen. Among pasta and sandwich, pasta was chosen. And among pizza and sandwich was chosen. तो एक cycle create हो गया. Although होना ये चाहिए था that if pizza over pasta and pasta over sandwich, right? So you should have chosen pizza over sandwich. But when pizza and sandwich are given to you, the individual is choosing sandwich. उसने अपना preference change कर दिया, right? So when this happens, this is called as cyclical behavior. And this is when transitivity is violated, right? So transitivity gets violated with cyclical behavior. These are the three axioms, or these are the three assumptions of your rational behavior, right? Completeness, reflexivity, and transitivity. Okay, I hope that this is absolutely clear to all of you. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and give you a homework question. Just try to think about it, right? Question. Consider a group of people, A, B, and C. Consider the relation at least as tall as, right? A, is it transitive? B, is it complete? So the homework question is, you have to consider a group of people, A, B, and C, and the relation is at least as tall as, right? Is this relation transitive? Is this relation complete? Okay, try to do this question. I will discuss it in the next lecture. Okay, thank you.